So let's now go to the very project, and we give the floor to those who have been involved. And first of all, to the cause, the driver of the project, Augusta Malacarne. And she will give us a first overview of the project, of the context, and highlighting also the peculiar and specific aspects of the project itself.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. At the time when we organized this, we didn't know there were going to be elections today. So, okay, as Professor Varani was saying, this project was created in this area, and it arose from the need to deal with the problem of immigration. Of course, these are very general words, very vague words, but the ambitious idea was to create a project that had two main features. One, the attention focused on local needs of the operators, having to deal with immigrants every day. So with people coming from different countries, different cultures, different backgrounds. So with a very personal approach. And the other, of course, according to the parameters of the project itself, to work so that this local aspect could be translated so that other municipalities at the European level could use this experience and then apply it to their context according to their needs. As Andrea was saying, the project was ambitious. We then sort of realized the ambitious level, so to say, of the project while we were doing it. And we found a very special context, which has become special for us in terms of trainers. But it is not special if we had the same situation in rural areas of Luxembourg or rural areas of Ireland. And actually, Gillian Kennedy will tell us about the Irish experience, and we will hear about similarities and differences. So our reality was the reality of the low part of the Po River Valley. The level of immigration is quite high, as Mrs. Culpo was saying, and from our point of view, so from the point of view of the trainers, there were specific features, and these features had to do with the fact that the theme of intercultural training is a theme that was and is experienced on a daily basis by the operators, but had never been dealt with in a strategic way, and there had never been a real and proper training in this sense. Also because interculture as a word itself is quite loaded in terms of meaning. So, especially from a social and view, very often, when I was talking informally to people, when we talk about intercultural training, very often people think that it means immigration, one, and promoting immigration, two. Totally different things, but the political load of the word is quite strong. So we sort of shifted from the political aspect, which is there. We know, we're aware. We've seen it, and it is not by chance that thanks to we'd like to thank Mrs. Cooper for her presence, and also at European level, colleagues at European level. It is significant that we didn't have the presence of many politicians, because we know it is a delicate theme. If people belong to right-wing parties, they have certain ideas. If they belong to left-wing parties, they have different ideas. But we went on with the project, and some concrete results were obtained. So something about the structure of the project, for those who have experience about European project, well, you know. Anyway, we are part of the Grundtvig program dedicated to lifelong learning, and our main interlocutors were adults, grown-ups. And so this is important from a methodological point of view, and then the representatives of the Bicocca University will tell us more in detail about it. And the question is how to use the experience of adults of this group, make it become a training paradigm for other adults that we do not know yet. And again, from the training point of view, how to understand which are the needs of the adults that were our interlocutors. And then these adults, in their turn, were part of an organizational context that was quite rigid, and not because of their own choice. Can I ask among of you who is working in a public sector? Almost the majority of you. So, I mean, you can clearly understand that there are bureaucratic structures that prevent training projects that are quite strategic, sometimes because of lack of resources, are not implemented. So often, I mean, this was our context. We had to deal with the theme of lifelong learning, strategic learning, deal with our interlocutors within the phenomenon of immigration, and Viadana had become the sort of microcosm of a macrocosm of what was happening in Italy.